Welcome to another edition of the Be Civil podcast. My name is Matt Sutherland. I'm your host. This is my good friend, Noah Matz.
Hi, guys.
He's been a guest before. Last time you were on, this is your third time on actually, because the last time you were on, it was the continuation of, your experience with
the hypnosis therapy. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Quantum healing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So thanks for coming on again, Noah.
Yeah, thank you.
Always, man, you are a brother after my own heart.
Thank you, bro. Happy Good Friday. It's almost Easter.
Today is Good Friday. This is the day that Jesus died on the cross.
Mm-hmm.
A very important day. I feel like I used to be a practicing Christian. I don't consider myself that anymore, but I do regard Jesus as someone who was just so extremely connected with God, and was trying to teach us how to do the same thing. And I love the teachings of Jesus. I'm a huge Jesus fan. I have ideas about Jesus, about I have ideas about where Jesus was, in the scriptures, where, the lost years of Jesus. I have ideas of where he was, and there's actually some talk in Asia, some kind of like records in Asia, Kashmir, India.
Yeah, he probably was definitely in Asia. He's probably in India.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of holy and sacred sites in India where the consciousness is quite strong, and I'm sure he would want to experience that on his journey of fully awakening to Source, God, I Am presence.
Yes, exactly. And you're hitting the nail on the head. Have you seen the documentary? Or there's a number of documentaries, but they're all about Jesus' presence in India.
I haven't.
I'm gonna send them to you.
To see that.
They're on YouTube. Basically, they say that the three wise men, when they went to go visit Jesus, they came from Asia, and there's a story in India where basically the wise men, they were going to find the Messiah, the chosen one, and there was also these wise men. They also Jesus wasn't the only one. It would be after a certain amount of years or something like that these wise men would go and they would search for they would look at the stars and they would find this person that was supposed to be an enlightened teacher. So this happened with others as well. But the story of Jesus, in this documentary, it was saying that the wise men went to visit Jesus when he was born, brought him the gifts and everything. But then once Jesus was, say, in his early teens, they came back and they brought him to Asia, probably India, and Jesus studied Buddhism, which predated Christianity, 500 years, predated Jesus, I believe.
The Vedic texts.
The Vedas, exactly. The Vedas, Buddhism.
Because I think Krishna was here 5,000 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
Around the Vedic times.
Yep. So
there's always enlightened teachers that come in various times in history when the collective consciousness needs to be raised.
Right.
And humanity needs to take the next step in their spiritual evolution.
Yes.
Obviously, there's got to be way showers. This is This is the way, as the Mandalorian says.
Yes. Um, so it's exciting. It's exciting. This present time. Thinking about that. We were talking about this before the camera was rolling. Uh, just like the Christ consciousness that is, in the air now. It's becoming more present. It's definitely, we see it in people like Joe Dispenza or Esther Hicks, I believe.
There's a
Wayne Dyer, Thich Nhat Hanh.
There's a raising of consciousness, and it's connected with the cycles. Many great civilizations were tracking these cycles and knew about them. Every 26,000 years, there is a change in the season, and it always comes with a consciousness shift. And they believe that this energy comes from the great central sun. The energy goes through all the local stars. Each sun then releases this higher level of consciousness every 26,000 years. We're entering the new age right now, and there's heightened sun activity, greatly heightened sun activity, and it's bringing Christ consciousness. Human beings' hearts are opening right now. Truth about everything is running wild on the planet right now. Everyone's waking up to how things actually work, and the old control systems of the planet are starting to collapse. Like the Babylonian money magic system, where central banks create money from thin air, and like ruling powers of the so-called negative side are running our planet and keeping us mentally enslaved with their propaganda. Christ consciousness that is raising frequencies here. It's breaking us out of our mental prison. The heart energy is going to be so strong, and that spiritual teachers are going to come to the planet and be activated, as it were. So we're going through a spiritual journey right now on the planet.
Definitely.
And massive spiritual awakenings are going to be happening.
Yeah. It's not a thing anymore to see, like, my wife and I and my daughter, we took a walk to the park, and first we got breakfast at this really good local bagel shop. And we were walking by, in the little plaza. They had a sign, and it said like meditation and energy course this Saturday at 11:30. And at first I was like, oh man, I really want to go to that. And then which I definitely do at some point. I want to go try to make it some time. But then Christina said to me, my wife, she was like, that sucks that you have to miss it. And I was like, it's already here. It's already here. Like, and that's the thing. We don't have to go. I took a journey to Thailand. Well, let me back up. Reason I brought that up was because, like, it's not a thing to see this stuff anymore. Like, meditation is not a secret anymore. Like, you have like The Secret, like the law of attraction. It's not even a secret anymore. People are aware. People are becoming more and more aware of that they have a connection, or that they have access to a connection with their inner self, their spirit, God, source, whatever you want to call it. So it's not a thing anymore to see meditation courses, or to see energy, Reiki healings. These types of things are they're becoming more
Yeah,
and more um,
they're available
abundant
now.
and
It was
available, accessible.
like in the 70s, all these people from America would go to India
Yeah,
and bring back what they had found over there, whether it's yoga or
yeah.
meditation or Advaita, or they found a spiritual teacher, a yogi, a master. They brought back some enlightenment, and it seems like it's been spreading quite wild in America. And the 70s were a spiritual transition. I believe we're in another one right now, but this one's going to be a lot more potent this round, and we're entering a new age, the age of Aquarius, right?
I'm not sure, but I've heard of the Age of Aquarius. I've heard it's like a very powerful, like spiritually powerful age. Um, you know who we have to credit for that? That exposure to um, this Eastern
Philosophy.
philosophies during that time in the 70s. Man, it was like a lot of musicians. It was like,
Well, that makes sense. I mean,
yeah, it was like the Beatles and like
yeah.
Stevie Wonder and like I think the Rolling Stones and like a lot of like the rock bands, a lot of the artists.
If
They were,
if people had a lot of money at their disposal and they weren't stuck in a 9 to 5 job, do you know how rapidly this stuff would propagate and spread throughout the world?
you know what? And that's
That's
something.
really the root cause. It keeps people stuck in their ways. If we have enough resources on this planet, if the money machine, if the money network wasn't controlled by, the dark forces, it's a spiritual war on this planet. The dark forces have control of the corporations and the central banks. The central banks are private. They create fiat currency. Currency is not backed by anything. They just enter numbers on a computer. The banking system is the same way. New loans are just new entries in the computer system. It's fractional reserve banking. So in a way, we're stuck in a bit of slavery, working for currency when we are the currency itself. And at a certain point, that system's going to get flipped over to something that's a little more spiritually positive for us. And I think right now we're going to witness very soon the removal of lower energetic forms that have been fighting with us for thousands of years on this planet. It's a well-known history that dark forces are trying to vie for souls on this planet. Um, and I think very, very great times are upon us quite soon. I think that's why you're seeing the bank failures in the news, a shaky stock market, all of this info about the bad things corporations and politicians are doing. And people are getting upset. Like right now, France is half the country's in the streets right now, and they're upset at their president and leader because he's doing bad things. I think the people are tired of taking the darkness, and people want some like a spiritual leadership on the planet. I'm very excited. I think it's going in a good way, and all the spiritual traditions are spreading rapidly right now. And I think that's the wake up. The spiritual traditions, everybody's going to be excited to start doing these things, and they already are. Like yoga and meditation are getting extremely popular, and that helps people to wake up out of the dream of just like doing the same things over and over and not analyzing them. You're stuck in the monotony of like the programming. This is what you do to live a good life. No, you can be in your own spirit. You can be centered. You can find inner connection and inner guidance as to what you should be doing. Um, and I think that's the new way. That is the way.
Very well expressed. I totally agree with that, I think people in the world are starting to awaken and realize that we don't have to be um, held down by uh, the the uh, the financial powers.
Yeah, people are getting a
The
lot more
greed.
free. Yeah.
There's a lot of greed, unfortunately, in these larger corporations. There's a lot of greed, and I would
Service
say,
to self.
yeah, it brings the wrong message. I feel like instead of having a a message of status and whoever has the most materially, that I feel like that message is being uh, picked apart now. I think people are seeing that it doesn't work that way. It is about, I like how you said, our greatest asset, and I believe the same thing. Our greatest asset is our spirit, our spiritual connection.
Spirit is like literally our greatest currency.
It is.
And that's usually what the people that get very, very popular and the Instagram space or the influencers, they usually have a very strong spirit and they're saying things from their spirit. They're very creative, which is spiritual. And they're saying things that people want to hear, and those people are usually not your standard like programmed masses. They're coming from their inner heart. Um, the uniqueness of spirit is your currency, and people connect greater, like more deeply within themselves. I feel like just blessings and prosperity will come to you. It's kind of like Joe Dispenza says. So you're more present, everything just flows to you.
Exactly. And that is what I feel like is, the definition of true riches, when you know that you have everything that you need in that moment. You have your breath, you have your life, you have your mind, you have your heart. And the more connected we are with knowing that and being in the energy of that,
And the thankfulness and the gratefulness.
the gratitude.
That's been amplifying things for me because I've started adding that in more so.
Yeah.
And I think you kind of led me to that.
Oh, wow. I appreciate that very much.
Everything is being provided to you. Everything by God.
You've equally led me to, down this road of light and positivity. So thank you, brother. I appreciate you acknowledging that. So since it is Easter coming up,
it's a time of reflection and probably a great time for getting in touch with your spirit.
Yeah. Like, tell me more. Like, tell me more about the energy of Easter and like what you feel like.
Well,
it's bringing.
I've always been very sensitive to energy since I was a child. Like, I just feel the energy very strongly, and every holiday has its own energy. Christmas has very, very strong energy, and the energy ramps up throughout the month because everyone is feeling love and they want to shower love upon their loved ones. And the collective consciousness, that energy gets very, very strong, and the people who are sensitive to that, they feel it very strongly, and most people do. Easter is a very similar way. The energy starts ramping up during the week of Good Friday. The energy today is very, very strong. Sunday, it's going to be like you're in church, but it's like 100 church days combined into one. There is massive peace and meditativeness and just Christ-like consciousness on Easter Sunday. Everybody is in church. Everyone. It's everyone that like believes in God is in church or thinking about God, and that's billions of people around the world. That's maybe 4 or 5 billion people are going to be thinking about the Lord in quiet contemplation. And right now, it's also Ramadan. Billions of people right now are in inner silence, thinking about the Lord. That energy is purity, and it changes the collective consciousness. It makes everything soft, and everything just flows, and the greatest possible outcomes happen. And manifestation will greatly increase. And people will feel that great peace on Sunday, and it's beneficial for the world. I think it's exactly what Jesus would want. He would want a day of remembrance for him who had an unbelievable connection with his father and his father decided to have him make a statement on the planet. This body literally means nothing. It can be taken away. Your spirit is everything that you are. And if you're with the Lord, you are 100% taken care of. And it was merely used as a tool to wake up the populace even more so than him being alive on the planet. It's absolutely remarkable. And all of our spiritual teachers will be with us in remembrance and praying with us. Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, all the great saints and sages, thinking about the one consciousness, the one being, the one Lord that we are all connected with. And when you think about this, it just brings silence. What else is there to think about? There's just pure silence and happiness and peace and blessings. So I'm very excited. I'm very happy. It's almost like a day of Thanksgiving. Even it should be a day of Thanksgiving.
Definitely. Yeah. On that note, I want to say thank you for coming on again, brother. I think I'm really going to deeply observe Christ this Sunday. Actually, I don't think I know I am, and I haven't done that in a while because I fell out of, um, Christianity. I don't follow as my religion anymore. But I think
Even if that's the case, and I have done a bit of that as well, we still know he's a great prophet of the Lord.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And the Lord, we both believe in God, and there's been many, many prophets. Yeah. He's just one of them. Mm-hmm. But he's a very, very, like, his presence and I amness with God was extremely strong.
Yeah,
very merged with the Lord.
Super, like, unique. And also, like, I feel like Jesus, like, Christianity is the most, for so many different reasons, I feel like, but Christianity and Jesus, I feel like the whole world knows. Yeah. The whole world has heard this story. More than Buddhism,
Muslims regard Jesus as a very high prophet.
I think all the faiths. I think all the faiths recognize Christ as, like, he did the right thing. Yeah. He was a man that followed God and that was with God, and I think that is amazing. That's amazing to have, that type of resonant power. And that resonant, love. It's easy to recognize. So, thank you, brother, for being on again. Always a pleasure to have you. Always a pleasure to talk with you and to be in your presence. Namaste.
Pleasure to be with you and to share everything from the heart.
Yes, sir. I want to ask everyone to please comment, like, and subscribe. And thank you so much. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Love you all.
Love.